I was recently asked to give a presentation to incoming students for a specific program, and they asked me to help prepare the students for all different aspects associated with AI, meaning AI literacy in general, but also specifically for what they'd be going through at the university. And when I gave this presentation, even though it was for freshmen coming in, I thought, wow, this is really applicable to all grade levels because all students coming in, whether they're freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, they need to have this information. They need to have it in general, but then they also need to have it again and again to help them understand as well as to help them remember this important information. So I'm going to present it to you, and I'm going to present it as if I'm presenting to the students. That way you could use this either to then go ahead and give this information to the students as well, or simply to have them go to this video, present this in class, or have this as a take-home assignment where the students go through and watch this video to gain this type of understanding, which is something that they need to have again and again because it's that important. So I'm going to start it off here, and that way on YouTube you can just right click and save the link at this time. That way you can share that with your students. All right, so here we go. Hi everyone, thank you very much for your time today. I'm very excited and honored to be sharing with you this important information dealing with AI in your learning experience. As we go through this information today, I'm going to be covering 4 specific topics. The first one deals with AI literacy in general. So it's a quick refresher or a quick presentation just dealing with some basic concepts of AI literacy. From there, we're going to talk about AI and academic misconduct. This is something that we want to avoid because we want to make sure that we're using AI appropriately to help us, but not to the point where we're falling into academic misconduct. Then we're going to talk about how there's a difference in the way that different faculty use AI. So it's going to be important to understand that, hey, my different teacher, my different professor, they might be using AI in a different way, and I need to be ready for that, and I need to understand how I can make sure that I am fully understanding how they plan to use it. Then the final one deals with personally using AI to help you in your overall learning journey. So how can I use it on my own outside of class in order to help me fully learn, fully understand the content so that as I go through, I really gain an education. It's not just about the grades. It's not just about getting a degree at the end. No, it's about getting a good education that I can then fully use when I graduate so that I can get a job, so that I can work well within society, so I can access information. So it's really important that I understand how to use AI on my own effectively and properly. So to begin with, I want to quickly just go over AI literacy. So AI literacy is broken down into 4 distinct different concepts. The first one deals with an awareness. So with this awareness, we need to know that AI is all around us and is affecting us in many different ways. Some of it is in good ways, some of it is in bad ways, but we have to understand that it is affecting society. So we need to have a conscious awareness that AI is there and AI is playing a role so that we can make purposeful decisions. Next, we have capability. With capability, it's important to realize that AI is more than just one thing. There are many different AIs that we can use, everything from ChatGPT to Claude to Gemini and many different others. So we have to understand that there are different systems out there. They each have different strengths, different capabilities. So we need to understand what those are so that we can use the best tool for the job. Along with that, we have to know that there are limitations. There are limitations to what the AI can do, what it can't do, and we have to also understand that it's not a conscious thing, so it can make mistakes. So we need to make sure that we're always verifying the information so that we know how to properly use it. And in understanding how to properly use it, we have to know things such as prompt engineering. We have to develop these skills as far as using it effectively, using advanced prompt formulas so that we can get the very best response from the AI. Now, next, we have the concept of dealing with overall knowledge. So this is knowledge on several different levels. Knowledge that AI can now be accessed by anyone. Anyone, everywhere, because it is completely free now. Of course, there are different tiers and that will give you different capabilities, but we have to understand that on a basic level, everyone now has access. So everyone can be using it, whether it's business competitors, whether it's governments, whether it's individuals, professors, instructors, teachers, students, everyone now has access. So we have to know that. The next part deals with knowing different concepts, different terminology that will help us in our overall understanding of AI literacy. And then it's also really important that we know that AI can be used for both good and bad. So it can be used really great for special effects, for helping with accessibility, disabilities, all sorts of different positive, great things. We can use it in our own learning. So these are positive things. But then there are also some negative things, things such as deep fakes, synthetic information. So we have to be aware of that so that we don't get deceived or misled. And then finally, we have this idea of critical thinking. So that is going to be extremely important. It's always important to have critical thinking just in our educational journey, but even more so when we're talking about AI literacy. So in that part with critical thinking, we need to know, one, that AI can have a hallucination. That means that it's giving us false information, but in a confident manner. So we need to make sure that we're validating information that we get from an AI. So that's always important that we check to make sure that it's correct. Along with that, there are other ethical considerations that we need to be taking into account. AI might be biased. AI might be creating content that is not necessarily in line with political correctness or different aspects associated with where did this information come from. Is it taking information inappropriately? How does it actually work? Also different aspects as far as what about some environmental considerations? Is it using too much energy? Is there ways that we can overcome that? And then finally, things such as over-reliance. We want to make sure that we're using AI as a tool to help us learn, not as something that we just over-rely on and it serves as a crutch that we don't have to learn. Because that's not going to be enough for us to really succeed. We need to be able to use the tool not just to do things for us, but to help us to be able to do more and to be able to accomplish that much more because we have this tool that is an assistive technology. The next part of understanding AI within our learning journey, our learning experience, is that we have to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of misconduct, right? Academic misconduct. So AI is a tool to help us learn, but we can't be using AI to do all the work for us. So we have to make sure that we understand, well, what is academic misconduct with AI to begin with? To do this, you need to ask your educational institution, what is their actual policy? What is the information that they are using as a guideline for what is misconduct and what isn't misconduct? So as an example, I'll give you the policy of the university that I work for. So within there, if we go to the Students' Code of Ethics, and then within that, there's a section dealing with cheating. Within that, there's a specific area that says cheating includes but is not limited to using or referring to notes, books, devices, or other sources of information, including advanced artificial intelligence, AI tools, such as ChatGPT, in completing an academic evaluation or assignment when such use has not been expressly allowed by the faculty member who is conducting the examination. So some key things there to look at is using AI to complete an academic evaluation or assignment when it's not allowed by the faculty member. So the big thing there is that it's very specific, right? In that the instructors have to make this decision of yes, you can use it or no, you can't for this assignment or for this test. So when in doubt, you can always ask the instructor, but there should be some clear guidance, some clear policies from your educational institution that will help you with that. Now, another big aspect for us to understand when we're going through school, when we're going through the university, is to understand that, hey, we have different instructors, and each one of those instructors might be using AI in a different way. That's just a realization that we have to make sure that we are cognizant of, that we are thinking about, is that one instructor might really be all for AI. They might be excited about it and they're trying to integrate it into different assignments, into different processes. So you'll have those type of instructors. So that'll be great. You'll be learning about AI, different types of implementations, different skills of using AI. So you'll have that type of instructor, which is great. You might also have other instructors that are still not fully on board with using AI within their class, with using AI for assignments. They might be stricter as far as what you can do, what you can't do. They might say, I don't want any AI within these assignments or within the class. So you have to make sure that you understand, well, which instructor is doing what. It might be a little confusing, but this is the reality that you have to face, is that there are going to be different instructors that are doing it for different reasons. Now, there are different reasons why they might do that, so we need to understand that as well. Different topics might yield themselves in different ways to be better able to use AI. Additionally, a foundational course, maybe they don't want you to use AI yet because you need to have foundational knowledge. When we're talking about an example such as writing, you need to be able to write on your own. You need to be able to create proper sentences, proper paragraphs, proper essays on your own so that later on you can see what right looks like. So again, this is a developmental process. You might have an instructor that for part of the semester or part of the school year, they won't use AI. And then later they might use AI for, now that you've developed foundational knowledge, now they'll use AI to be able to do more. So again, this is important for us to understand as far as what our different instructors are doing. So we need to look for things such as AI statements within a course syllabus. This will help us to understand how the instructor plans to use the AI. We need to look for AI use allowances within actual assessment instructions. So usually when an instructor gives an assignment, they'll put in something like, hey, I want you to use AI for this, or you can use it for this part, but not for this part. So we can look for the instructions as well. And then finally, if we don't know, if we're not sure, we should approach our instructor. We should go directly to them and ask them, hey, is it okay if I use AI for this part? I want to use AI to do this part. Is that okay? We need to make sure that we ask to get clarification. That way we can be sure that we don't fall into a situation where there might be some academic dishonesty, or there might be some viewpoint or thoughts from our instructor that we're using it inappropriately. So we want to avoid that. So whenever we're in doubt, ask questions. Final section here deals with using AI on your own to help you learn. AI will continue to develop. We'll have more things. Right now, we have lots of AIs that we can go and use. There'll be additional things like AI assistants, AI agents. So the capability of using AI on your own will greatly increase because you'll have more access, more capability with the AI. So we have to ask ourselves as far as why would we use the AI? So we can use the AI to help us learn. We can use the AI to get feedback on content that we create. We can get AI to help us practice. And we can use AI to help us rehearse and gain experience. So I'm going to explain all those a bit more to you. So for this first issue, right, to help you understand, AI is very powerful because it can present information to you in many different ways. So here's an example prompt that you could use. Please act as a university professor in math. Explain the Pythagorean theorem to me as if I'm in high school. Use examples dealing with football, soccer, so that I can better understand the concept. So a key thing here is that now we're using the AI, and in that prompt, we're telling it what role to assume. Hey, I need you to be a university professor, and I need you to explain this to me. So I'm being very specific, I'm giving it guidance, and then I'm telling it that, hey, I want you to use this type of way to explain it to me. One was at the level, right? I said, explain it to me as if I'm in high school, because it was too complicated for me to understand at that level. So now I want it at high school level, and then from there I can build up. So that's really powerful in the way that we're using the AI to help us learn. And then I'm saying specifically, hey, use examples such as soccer examples, right? This is international football, but we're trying to be very specific. We're saying soccer because that might be something that I'm familiar with. So we could change that to anything that would help us understand. Maybe it's dance, maybe it's construction, maybe it's marketing, who knows? But the thing is that you as the individual, you can make these decisions and then put in there what type of examples that you want in order to make it that much more easy for you to understand and grasp the concept. And then you're giving it reasons so that I can better understand this concept. So that right there is an example of an advanced prompt formula where I'm giving it a task, instruction, context, reasons, and then clarification. So with clarification, this deals with refinement in that I can continue to ask questions. I continue to have this conversation. We have to remember that the AI is designed to be conversational. So we can continue on the conversation. If it doesn't give me a full explanation of what I want, I can continue to ask for more clarifications. And this is a powerful aspect of using it to help with understanding a concept, because sometimes as a student, we might be reluctant to go and ask the instructor questions again and again, or questions that we asked before, but we didn't fully understand the response. So now we can use AI in a more stress-free environment where we can ask different questions multiple times in different ways and ask it to give us information in different ways in order to ensure that we understand within our learning journey. Another great way to use the AI is to help us receive feedback. If you think about the 7-step writing process, one of the key things there is that when we're almost done with our writing, that we show someone else. We get a second pair of eyes in order to review it, to see different things as far as the flow, the information that it's presenting, as well as adherence to the rubric. So one way that we could use the AI is by putting in this type of prompt. We say, please act as a university professor that teaches freshman seminar. Use the rubric that I will provide you to then give me feedback on my essay that I will also give you. Do not provide a revised version of the writing provided. Do you understand? So you can see here that we're using, again, an advanced prompt formula. We're giving it a specific task. We're giving it specific instructions, context. We want it to be a university professor. We want it to give us an understanding of how good or how well we've written this essay, and we want it specifically to use the rubric that we have for this assignment in order to analyze it. So that's a key part. So in this example here, we would upload the rubric and then we would also upload our essay for it to review. Now, a key thing that you have to take away with this from this advanced prompt formula is that towards the end there, it says, do not provide a revised version of the writing provided. So we don't want the AI to rewrite it for us, because if it were to do that, then we might be falling into academic misconduct. No, what we want is the AI to give us assistance, just as if we were to give it to a friend to look at it, to give us a second pair of eyes. That's all we're wanting. That's allowable, that's okay, but when we ask it to rewrite it for us, well, unless that's part of the actual assignment, then that could easily fall within academic misconduct, which is something we definitely want to avoid. And here's an example of feedback that it provides us. You can see how this is broken down by the rubric that we provided it as well. So it gives us good, actionable feedback. Another excellent way that we can use AI to our advantage for our learning experience and to help us get a good education is by using AI to help us practice, to help us study. So in this example, we prompt it by saying, please act as a university professor that teaches biology. I have a test coming up on the structure and function of cells. Please help me study so that I can do well on an upcoming test about this topic. Give me a multiple choice, true, false, or short answer question about this topic. Let me answer and then give me feedback and another question. Do you understand? So again, we're using the advanced prompt formula here, and it's going through, we're giving it the task, the instruction, the context, the reasons, and then clarification. Do you understand? So this is a powerful prompt that can be used to help us in any type of topic. All we would have to do is change the specifics here, what type of professor for the context, and then the specifics here, I say for an upcoming test on the structure and function of cells. So that would change to whatever the test is. It's important for us to be very specific so that we can get specific information within our response that is exactly what we're looking for. So here it gives us the different questions to help us practice, to help us study. Now, another thing that you could do is that if you had a practice test that the instructor provided you, or practice quizzes that you have already gone through, or even a study guide, that could also be fed to the AI so that it uses that in order to give you the practice questions as you go through and study with the AI. Another very powerful way that you can use the AI, and this is one that I really recommend because it has such an impactful, different way for helping us to learn, is by using the AI to go through and rehearse an experience. So rehearsing is a bit different than practice because rehearsing is a bit more detailed. It has a bit more emotional connection. And from that, we can actually gain experience. So an example here is we use a prompt like this. Please assume the role of a real-life professional marketing executive with 10 years of experience working at a well-known marketing agency. I will be interviewing in order to gain a better understanding of this person's specific experience and this professional industry as a whole. Let me ask questions and then you answer and I reply so that I can practice my interviewing skills. Please respond as if in a personal conversation and avoid expressing lists. After you answer 5 questions, give me usable feedback on how well I conducted the interview and what I can do to improve. So again, this is an advanced prompt formula. You see, we're being very specific. And so what this does is that this now creates a simulation. this creates a simulation where I can practice. I can go through and rehearse because it's more intense, it's more realistic. It's a scenario-based type of thing where I'm going through and pretending that I am actually doing this interview with a real life person, and then that prepares me to then go out and do this in real life. So this is something that I do in my class, but again, you can modify this type of prompt so that it can be a simulation of whatever you need to learn within the class. Whatever new topic, you can put that in, and now this can function as a simulation to help you learn the overall information and to specifically gain that more experience. Here's an example of what it comes up with. You see how now I'm able to pose the different questions. It gives me responses. Considering those responses, as I then ask another question, and then it answers, and finally at the end, it gives me specific feedback. To take this even further, this can be done via text, just entering text, answering questions. So it's a very powerful simulation that way. But you can also do it through the phone. So that's another powerful way to go through a simulation to gain experience, because now you can actually just talk to the AI and that enhances the overall emotional connection. So that will help you in your learning process as well. So in this short presentation, I went over some specific aspects of what AI literacy is overall, how AI could be used for academic misconduct and what we need to know about that so that we can avoid it, how different faculty will be using AI in different ways, and then how we can get information about that. And if we're ever in doubt, we should ask them specifically so that we can get clarification. And then finally, how we can personally use the AI in order to help enhance our overall learning journey and experience. I appreciate everyone's time. And remember, learning is for life.